the very first International SEO Meet Up in Israel. Yay! We have a great event here today, a lot of good speakers, professionals to come and share their insights and tips with you, international SEO community here in Israel. So thank you so much first for Investing offices who made everything possible. Great snacks, beers. I think in less than 1 hour we're going to have some food here, so just stay and stick around. So I've decided to go on this topic, Lowdown on international SEO. Let's talk a little bit, short discussion about international SEO. What does it mean if we're missing out the international SEO strategy? Nice to meet you all. My name is Liraz. I've been working for SEO for 12 years or so, only international and only corporate companies. And in the last 6 months or so, I've decided to go on my own firm and helping different clients and B2B, B2C clients to execute a global SEO strategy. Why do we want to talk about international SEO? This is so important because some things you must be missing out if you're not doing international SEO properly. Let's take this fact. Latin America economy now growing faster than Asia. This is amazing stat because basically we know that in Latin America only we have 440 million internet users. This is a lot of money, people. If your product and website fits this audience, that can be a really big win. Not only that, look at this stat. These are the same users as all the European Union. 28 countries with 25 different languages. Latin America only dominates 2 different languages. So if you're missing out Latin America, that's a huge loss for you. How can you get that revenue? How can you make sure you grab those 440 million users to download your app, to buy a dress from your site, to be your users and readers? Let's read first what is international SEO. International SEO is the process of optimizing your website so that search engines can easily identify which countries you want to target and which languages you use for business. Pretty simple now. If search engines understand code, if I indicate in my code what I want to target and which languages do I use for my business, that's pretty simple. But what books won't tell you? In November 2017, Google announced they will now serve local results based on your location. We all know that now. That's pretty obvious for us now. But before that, it wasn't like that. If I was searching for a restaurant and I was located with my mobile cell phone in Tel Aviv, I was getting different kinds of results. Now I'm getting just what around me. And this is fantastic user experience. But what they forgot to mention, that from now on, basically, hreflang would matter more. And geo-targeting in Google Search Console will matter less. And you say, of course, but hreflang is pretty simple now. Just implement this and that's it. No, that's not the case. Look what John Mueller has to say about it. To be honest, hreflang is one of the most complex aspects of SEO. Feels easy like an meta tag, but it gets really hard quickly. And that's pretty right, because you're not the only one who's basically dealing with your site. Most of the times you're implementing your hreflang, but then the marketing team changes the URL. But then the marketing team decided to redirect or, I don't know, block this URL. Something can go wrong. And when I found this tweet for John, I found our dear Igal replying to him. He said, and he is totally right. Implementing hreflang in-house is challenging, but I can't even imagine how frustrating it for an agency if the client's developers aren't very cooperative. That's another scenario that can go wrong easily if not all sides are working with you to implement the right things. So what can go wrong? You're implementing the hreflang, everything works okay. How can we identify things that can happen and what can go wrong? Let's go over some scenarios, okay? No redirects, just a final URL. You're implementing it, the marketing team decided to redirect it to a different landing page. Check this. No 404 URLs, no index URLs. That can totally go wrong as well. No disallowed in robots URL. Always check that everything returning your tags, and check self-canonical. This is super, super important, because in the end of the day, if all those things are getting wrong, you might end up with Google selecting the best option for you, and when international SEO, it's not really what you want to do. Let's talk about IP redirection, because we all want to serve the best user experience. We all want to get those German to the German version site, and we all want to get the French to the French version site. That's a very good user experience. 2 years ago, Google said, avoid IP redirection. Avoid this. You got to avoid not doing it. It's going to cause some crawling issues. But is it? Like in January 2019, John Mueller said, no, it's fine. You just got to follow our protocol. We have a very, very thorough documentation on how doing IP redirections. He was talking about more states, different states in the US, but then a couple of tweets later, they decided to release some very, very documentation about, you can hear me? No? Documentation about how it's been done, redirection and IP redirection. Just follow the protocol and make sure you're doing it right. Just make sure that if you're redirecting users, you're also redirecting search engines. So that might cause some crawling issues. Always check how a search engine in a specific country can see you. And if you're geo-blocking a specific country, that's against the EU law. So just make sure you follow some regulations. How can you know if something went wrong? How can you identify errors? But some tools, you have the Screaming Frog, the Google Search Console, Google Analytics and Search Console. Let's say I'm just going to filter out the UK folder and see what traffic coming in from United States. Same goes for Analytics. Same goes for SEMrush. You can identify easily some problems and issue before and after the hreflang implementation. So to summarize, hreflang is a very powerful signal, but it can be very complicated as well. Make sure to crawl your site. Make sure to use your eyes. Make sure to do manual checks. Just not rely on everyone who deals with a website. You must be not the only one who deals with one website. And always remember to localize your content. Do not translate your content. I always get the clients say, oh yeah, we use translation services. No, localize your content. Use different case studies. Use different personas. Treat your audience as new and research about the new market to serve the best localization and in terms of glossary, in terms of examples even inside your content, making sure that you treat the new audience as new, not translate the existing content. So thank you.